Every morning, you face a choice. You either surrender to doubt, distraction, and fear, or you rise with clarity, purpose, and power.
You've heard of Think and Grow Rich, but have you lived it? Welcome to Napoleon Hill Daily Millionaire Mindset, where we break down timeless success secrets, one powerful idea a day. Miss a day, miss a breakthrough. Subscribe now. Your millionaire mind is waiting.
What if, starting today, you could rewire your mind to focus, to grow, to win? Imagine walking through life unshaken, unstoppable, in total control of your destiny. This is your moment, your breakthrough, because the moment you master your mornings, you master your life. In just moments, you'll learn how speaking these powerful truths each morning rewires your mind and transforms your life. I am the master of my mind. Every morning before your feet touch the floor, remind yourself of a truth that separates those who win from those who wander. You are the master of your mind. Not your boss, not chance, not luck, you. Ever noticed how a man's entire day can be ruined by something as small as a spilled cup of coffee or a harsh word from another? But think, is it the event itself or his reaction to it that dictates the rest of his day? You know the answer. You weren't born with a mind to let it drift like a feather in the wind. You were born with a mind to direct, to command, and to shape the reality around you. You were given the same raw mental material as every titan who ever built an empire, wrote a masterpiece, or conquered the odds. But here's the pitfall. The average man spends his life letting his mind run him instead of running his mind. He fills it with worry, doubt, and regret, never realizing those thoughts grow roots, and soon enough his life mirrors the chaos he allows inside. Ask yourself this: if a farmer lets weeds grow wild, can he expect a good harvest? If a carpenter ignores his tools, will his table stand firm? Why then should you expect a rich, fulfilling life if you leave your mind untended? Now imagine what happens when you wake up and decide, today, my thoughts are mine to choose. Picture walking into your workplace, your shop, your school, not swayed by others' moods, not beaten by yesterday's mistakes. A man bumps into you rudely, you smile, move on, unaffected. A deal falls through, you adjust, recalibrate, because your mind is not chained to outcomes. But how does one truly command the mind? You start simple. The moment your eyes open, you affirm, I choose what I think. Then throughout the day, when negative thoughts creep, and they will, you pause and ask, does this serve me? If not, replace it. Say instead, I am capable, I am resilient, I am focused. Think back to great men of history. Do you believe they spent their days indulging in fear? Or did they discipline their minds like a horse, breaking its wild nature until it obeyed? You know the answer. So the question is, will you rise today as the master of your mind? Or will you hand over the reins to chance, to circumstance, to whatever passes your way? Remember, nothing external has power over you unless you grant it permission. Say it now, say it every morning. I am the master of my mind. And watch how life begins to align. Today, I choose definite purpose. Before the sun fully rises, before the sounds of footsteps and conversations begin to fill the air, there's one decision that quietly determines whether a man drifts aimlessly or strides boldly toward greatness. And it is this: today I choose definite purpose. Think about it. Look around. How many men wander through life like ships without rudders, blown by the winds of circumstance, tossed by every wave of distraction, uncertainty, or someone else's opinion? One day they say, I ought to do this. The next day they say, maybe I'll try that. And years pass. Nothing of substance is built, but purpose. Purpose. That is the engine that separates builders from bystanders, the creators from the complainers. When a man wakes and says, this is what I will do, everything begins to arrange itself differently. His feet move with certainty. His hands become tools of creation, not idle instruments of habit. Ask yourself, have you ever seen a bricklayer begin his work without first knowing where the walls will stand? Would a farmer ever sow seeds without choosing which field, which crop, and which harvest he desires? Then why, tell me, would you let a single day pass without deciding with absolute clarity what you are building with your time, your energy, and your effort? Imagine this for a moment. Picture yourself stepping out of bed and saying aloud, today my purpose is. And you finish that sentence with something precise. Maybe it's completing a task you've delayed. Maybe it's making a new connection, learning a new skill, repairing a relationship, or laying one more brick toward a larger dream. Suddenly, the small irritations that used to disturb you, the neighbor's complaint, the slight from an acquaintance, the weather turning, all become irrelevant. Why? Because when your mind holds purpose, it no longer has space for pettiness. But here's the trap where most fall. They wait. Wait for the perfect moment. Wait for certainty. Wait until the stars align and someone else gives them permission to begin. But that day never comes. And time, that ruthless thief, keeps moving. The truth is, purpose is not found, it's chosen, it's declared. A man does not stumble upon purpose like loose change in the street. No, he grips it with both hands and says, "This is mine." So how do you do this? Each morning, while the world still sleeps, you sit quietly with yourself. You ask, what do I intend to accomplish today that moves me closer to the life I desire? And be honest, be specific. Vague wishes lead to vague results. I want to be successful is not a purpose, but I will learn this skill. I will make these 5 calls, or I will write this page. Now that is purpose in action. Imagine yourself as a craftsman in your workshop. Tools lined neatly, wood laid out before you. You don't wander aimlessly from hammer to saw. You select the right tool for the right job because you know what you are building. Life works the same. Your mind holds the tools. Purpose is the blueprint. Ask yourself, if today were your last, would you be proud of how you spent it? Would the hours you gave away to distraction, to gossip, to trivial matters, would those hours stand as worthy investments, or would they dissolve like smoke? There's only one remedy, one phrase that sharpens the mind and straightens the spine. Today, I choose definite purpose. Say it, mean it, live it. And when the sun sets, let it find you not among the drifters and the wishers, but among the builders, the men and women whose lives stand tall, brick by brick, purpose by purpose, because they chose day after day to command it so. Nothing will distract me from my goal. Stand still for a moment and think deeply. When was the last time a man or woman truly achieved something great by being easily distracted? You already know the answer. A goal is like a fire in the furnace. It burns hot, but only if it's constantly fed. Yet look around. How many people allow every little noise, every idle conversation, every passing thought to pull them away from what truly matters? One minute they are set on building a future, the next they are tangled in matters that have no business stealing their time. But not you, not anymore. Today you speak a truth aloud that becomes armor. Why does this matter so much? Because distraction is the silent thief of dreams. It does not arrive with loud footsteps. It sneaks in. A neighbor's gossip, a sudden inconvenience, an unexpected invitation that leads you down a road far from your ambitions. Left unchecked, these little diversions pile up until days become weeks and weeks become years. You must ask yourself, if a man plants a seed but walks away halfway through watering it, should he be surprised when the harvest never comes? Can a builder pause halfway through raising the walls of his home, spend his days watching passers-by and then wonder why the roof never stands above him? Imagine yourself now, focused, truly focused. Picture this. You rise in the morning with your goal written clear in your mind. You begin your day with intention. Someone calls for idle chatter, but you politely decline. A small problem tries to pull you into worry, but you breathe, address it swiftly, and return to your mission. Suddenly, your life feels sharper. You notice the minutes you used to waste. You become aware that every small distraction is a stone stacked on top of your own delay. But here's the truth that most never realize. Distraction is not merely external. It often lives right between your ears. A wandering mind, a tendency to overthink, an urge to entertain doubt. These are the invisible shackles that bind most people. So, how does a person break free? It begins each morning with a decision, spoken aloud or burned quietly into the mind. Nothing will distract me from my goal. And throughout the day, when something tempts you off course, you pause and ask, does this serve my purpose or is it stealing my progress? If it serves you, welcome it. If it doesn't, discard it without apology. Picture a man tending to his workshop. Every tool has a purpose. Dust gathers in the corners. But he does not waste his day sweeping it when the project before him demands his hands. No, he knows what deserves his attention, the task at hand. Life is no different. Ask yourself this. If you let every minor inconvenience steal your attention today, where will you be a year from now? 5 years. But if you instead hold firm, guard your focus as if it were gold, what could you build? Who could you become? Remember, the world does not reward those who dabble. It rewards those who commit, the ones who can stand in a noisy, chaotic world and still say, my goal remains, my hands stay busy, my mind stays steady. Say it now. Say it with conviction. Nothing will distract me from my goal. Let this be the shield you carry. Let this be the line you draw in the sand between the life of wandering and the life of achievement. because those who master focus master life. My thoughts are seeds. I will plant success. As the morning sun rises and the world slowly stirs awake, you must remind yourself of a truth so powerful, so undeniable, that it shapes the course of every life, whether one recognizes it or not. Your thoughts are seeds, and today you will plant success. Consider the farmer. Does he walk out to the barren field and expect corn to rise where no seed has been planted? Does he stand among empty soil and demand a harvest that he never prepared for? Of course not. Even a child knows the answer. First comes the seed, then comes the harvest. But here's where most people fail. They forget that the mind operates under the same law. Every thought you hold, whether one of faith or one of fear, of victory or of doubt, is a seed. And like the earth itself, your subconscious mind does not judge what you plant. It simply receives, nourishes, and grows whatever is placed inside. So here's the question you must ask yourself each morning. What seeds am I planting today? Will they bear the fruits of success, strength, and abundance, or the weeds of frustration, worry, and failure? Imagine this. You wake up, and without realizing it, you begin whispering to yourself, "This day will be hard. I'm not ready. Something always goes wrong." Whether spoken aloud or merely entertained in the silence of your own mind, those words take root, and like weeds in a garden, they grow rapidly, choking out creativity, draining energy, and ensuring that struggle meets you at every turn. But imagine the opposite. You rise, stretch your arms, and declare, "I am capable, I am ready. Everything I need is within me. Success is already unfolding." Suddenly your posture straightens, your mind sharpens. The obstacles remain, yes, but you meet them as a man equipped for battle, not as one already defeated. Ask yourself this. If a man visits his field and chooses to plant poison, should he be surprised when nothing nourishing grows? Then why, tell me, would anyone entertain thoughts of doubt, fear, or defeat, and then wonder why success feels elusive? This is not magic. This is not mystery. This is law, as real as gravity and as unbreakable as time itself. You become what you consistently think. Your life bends in the direction of your dominant thoughts. So how do you master this? Begin each morning with a simple practice. Sit quietly, close your eyes if you wish, and consciously choose the seeds you wish to plant. Speak them aloud if you must. I am resourceful. I create solutions. My efforts are valuable. I attract the right people and the right opportunities. And throughout the day, become the watchman of your own mind. When a thought of doubt creeps in, and it will, ask yourself, is this the seed I wish to plant? If the answer is no, replace it immediately. Do not wait. Do not argue with it. Cast it out like a bad seed and plant a stronger one in its place. Picture yourself as the gardener of your mind. Each morning, you walk the rows. You remove the weeds. You check the soil. You water the ideas that serve you. Discipline, faith, persistence, courage. And you leave no space for anything less. Now ask yourself, if you do this daily, if you tend to your mind as diligently as the farmer tends to his field, where will you be 1 year from now? How rich, how full, how abundant could your harvest become? Say it now. Say it with absolute conviction. My thoughts are seeds. I will plant success. And remember, the harvest always matches the seed, always. Every challenge is an opportunity for growth. As the first rays of sunlight spill through your window, there is a truth you must anchor firmly in your mind before the day begins. Every challenge is an opportunity for growth. You see, life does not hand out success wrapped in velvet waiting on your doorstep. No, life delivers it, disguised, wrapped in difficulty, hidden beneath struggle, and cloaked in what most men call problems. Look around at the world. Watch closely. Some men, when faced with an obstacle, lower their heads. They groan, complain, curse their misfortune, and wonder, why me? But others, a rare few, stand taller when challenges arise. They square their shoulders, look the problem in the eye, and whisper to themselves, here is my opportunity. Here is my test. Ask yourself, which man do you choose to be? Think about the blacksmith. He does not shape iron with gentle hands. He thrusts it into fire, beats it with hammer and anvil over and over until it becomes something strong, something useful, something enduring. And you, my friend, are no different. Life's fire does not come to destroy you. It comes to forge you. Yet how often do people forget this? A delay happens and they give up. A door closes and they retreat. A criticism is spoken and their spirits crumble. They do not see that these very moments are the training ground of strength. Imagine yourself now, picture it clearly, working toward a dream. Suddenly, a setback arrives. A deal falls through. A task proves harder than expected. Someone doubts you, mocks you, or says, "You'll never succeed." What do? Do you crumble? Or do you lean in, smile slightly, and say, "Perfect. Here is the weight that will make me stronger"? Because here is the truth. Growth does not happen in comfort. A tree does not become tall without the resistance of the wind. A muscle does not become strong without the strain of resistance. A man does not become powerful without the presence of challenge. Ask yourself, if life were to hand you only ease, only comfort, how sharp would your mind become? How capable would your hands be? How resilient would your spirit grow? You already know the answer. So how does one transform challenges into stepping stones? First, you change the meaning. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you ask, "What is this teaching me?" Instead of thinking, "This setback means I should stop," you think, "This obstacle means I must grow stronger, smarter, more determined." The moment you shift that thinking, everything changes. Picture a man traveling down a winding road. He comes to a fallen tree blocking his path. The weak man turns back. The average man sits, waits, hopes someone clears it. But the strong man, he rolls up his sleeves, chops the tree, uses the wood to build a bridge, not just for himself, but for others who will come after him. Ask yourself, how would your life change if every difficulty became fuel instead of failure? If every no became a lesson? If every delay became a test of your patience and persistence? Where would you be a year from now? 5 years? Say this now. Say it with fire. Every challenge is an opportunity for growth. Let this truth become the lens through which you see the world. Let it turn burdens into blessings, setbacks into setups, and problems into possibilities. The road to greatness was never meant to be easy, but it was always meant to be worth it. I refuse to quit until I win. Before your feet even touch the floor this morning, there is one declaration that must thunder louder than doubt, louder than fear, louder than any voice that has ever whispered you can't, and it is this: I refuse to quit until I win. Look around at the history of every man who ever achieved anything of worth. Not one, not a single one, was handed success without the fire of persistence burning in his chest. The world does not roll out red carpets for wishers. It opens its gates only to those who refuse to be turned away. Think of the mountain climber. Does he scale halfway, look up at the peak, sigh, and say it's too far? Or does he grit his teeth, dig in his heels, and climb? One step, one hand, one stubborn refusal to quit, until the summit is beneath his feet. You know the answer. But here's the trap where most fall. They confuse a delay with defeat. They hit one obstacle and convince themselves, maybe this wasn't meant for me. But tell me, when has anything worth having ever come without struggle, without setbacks, without the test of whether you truly want it? Ask yourself, would the blacksmith forge a blade by striking the steel only once? No. He hammers it again and again because he knows that each strike strengthens it. Are you not forged in the same way? Now imagine this. You've set a goal, you've put in the effort, and yet results don't arrive as fast as you hoped. Doubt creeps in, voices whisper, maybe it's not working, maybe it's not for you. But then you remember the oath you made to yourself this morning. I refuse to quit until I win. Suddenly, the disappointment loses its grip. The failure becomes just a lesson. The delay transforms into preparation, not punishment. You adjust, you refine, you push forward. Because quitting is not on the table. You must understand, quitting is the only true failure. Every setback, every rejection, every mistake, these are not signs to stop. They are signs to sharpen your approach. Life tests every dream to see if you truly want it, to see if your desire outweighs your doubt. So how do you build this iron-willed refusal to quit? You make it non-negotiable. Each morning you speak it into existence. I refuse to quit until I win. Not if it gets easy, not if things go smoothly, until, period. And when obstacles appear, and they will, you pause, look them square in the eye and say, you will not outlast me. Whether it takes a day, a month, a year, or longer, you persist. Because those who persist cannot be defeated. Ask yourself, how many treasures in life are hidden behind the next effort, the next attempt, the next refusal to give up? And will you be the one who stops or the one who breaks through? Declare it now. I refuse to quit until I win. Let it ring so loudly within you that no rejection, no delay, no failure can drown it out. Because the truth is simple. Victory belongs not to the most talented, not to the most fortunate, but to the most determined. And if you refuse to quit, then you, without question, will win. I attract success by being valuable, to others. As the morning light touches your face, let this truth take root deep within your mind. I attract success by being valuable to others. Look closely at the world around you. Walk through any town, any city, any marketplace. The men who rise, who build fortunes, who command respect, they are never the ones who simply take. They are the ones who give. Not charity in the sense of handouts, no, but they give value. They solve problems. They make life better, easier, richer for others. Now ask yourself, have you ever seen a merchant grow wealthy by selling something nobody needs? Have you ever seen a craftsman prosper while offering shoddy work? Never. Wealth, respect, opportunity, they are magnetized by one thing, the habit of providing something of worth. But here's where most stumble. They sit with folded arms, waiting for luck, waiting for someone to hand them opportunity, waiting for life to reward effort they have not yet made. But life does not work that way. No man has ever become rich in money or meaning by asking, what can the world give me? The question has always been, what can I give the world? Imagine this clearly. Picture yourself walking into a room. Are you the person who waits to be noticed, waits to be helped? Or are you the one scanning the room asking, how can I help? Who needs what I can offer? How can I be of service? Because here's the key. The man who solves problems will never be without opportunity. The woman who eases burdens, who creates solutions, who delivers value, doors fly open for her. Not because she begged, not because she waited, but because the world rewards those who make themselves useful. Now ask yourself, what is the value you bring to others? Are your hands skilled? Is your knowledge sharp? Do your words inspire? Do your efforts solve? Because the marketplace of life only pays in proportion to the problems you solve and the usefulness you bring. How do you embody this? You begin each morning with a sacred commitment. I will be valuable today. I will serve. I will solve. I will leave every person, every place better than I found it. Whether that means offering a skill, lending a hand, sharing an idea, or simply lifting someone's spirits, the habit compounds, and like a magnet, opportunity starts to circle. People speak your name when you're not in the room, not because you asked, but because you became indispensable. The man who becomes invaluable cannot be ignored. Ask this daily. Who can I help today? What problem can I solve? How can I increase my value? And never forget, wealth, opportunity, respect. They are not pursued, they are attracted to the person who becomes valuable. So say it now and say it with certainty. I attract success by being valuable to others. Make this the rhythm of your hands, the direction of your thoughts, the heartbeat of your day. Because once you focus on providing value, success has no choice but to find you. I control my time and my energy. As the morning stirs and the world prepares to pull you in 100 different directions, remind yourself of this truth. I control my time and my energy. Not luck, not circumstance, not other people. You. Look around. Truly look. How many men squander their most valuable possessions, their hours, their focus, as if they are limitless? They drift from task to task, pulled by interruptions, idle chatter, distractions, and obligations they never chose but somehow accepted. By evening, they wonder why nothing of substance was built. Ask yourself, would a master carpenter allow anyone to walk into his shop, rearrange his tools, interrupt his hands mid-craft, and demand he abandon his work for trivial matters? Never. His time, his energy, his focus, these are sacred, and so must yours be. But here's the trap. Most people treat time as if it replenishes like water from a well. They forget, once a day is spent, it is gone, irreplaceable. You can recover money lost. You can rebuild from failure, but not a single man has ever recovered a wasted hour. Now imagine yourself standing guard at the gates of your day. Picture time as gold coins in a pouch tied to your waist. Every demand, every request, every meaningless task, it tugs at that pouch. If you aren't vigilant, by sundown the pouch is empty, spent on things that brought you no closer to your dreams. So here's the question. Will you give that gold away to anyone who asks for it, or will you choose where it goes? With precision, with intention, with the understanding that time and energy are the currency with which success is purchased. Consider this. Even the wealthiest man cannot buy an extra minute. Kings and paupers alike wake with the same 24 hours. The only difference between the successful and the struggling is how those hours are spent. How do you take control? First, you decide. Before the world wakes, you sit with yourself and ask, what truly matters today? What actions move me toward my definite purpose? Then you commit. You draw a line around those priorities. You guard them like treasure. When interruptions come, and they will, You ask, does this align with my purpose, or is it theft disguised as urgency? If it's the latter, you refuse, politely, firmly, without guilt. Now ask yourself, how many times have you traded an hour of purposeful work for idle conversation, for solving someone else's problem that wasn't yours, or for distractions dressed up as urgent matters? And what could your life look like if, starting today, you guarded your time with the same ferocity you would guard your home or your family? Say this now: I control my time and my energy, and mean it. Let it become the filter for every decision you make today. Because here's the law: the man who commands his time commands his life, and the man who wastes it trades his future for nothing but regret. Guard it, protect it, spend it only on what builds the life you desire, because nothing is more valuable, and nothing will serve you better than mastering this truth. I am surrounded by opportunities waiting to be claimed. As the morning sun peaks over the horizon and another day stretches before you, there is one truth that far too many overlook, yet it holds the key to wealth, progress, and personal triumph. It is this: I am surrounded by opportunities waiting to be claimed. Take a look, not with tired eyes, but with the sharp, alert gaze of a person awake to possibility. The truth is, the world has never suffered from a shortage of opportunity, only from a shortage of those willing to recognize it, seize it, and act upon it. But most walk through life blind to it. They mutter to themselves, "There's nothing here for me. Life is unfair. The doors are closed." Meanwhile, the man beside them, with the same street under his feet, the same town around him, the same air in his lungs, sees openings where others see walls. He finds possibilities where others find excuses. Why? Because opportunity does not announce itself with trumpets. It does not wear a sign that says, "Here I am." No, it hides. Often it disguises itself as hard work. It wears the clothing of inconvenience, of discomfort, even of failure. Ask yourself, how many times have you walked right past the very thing that could have changed your life because it looked too much like effort, or because it came wrapped in the packaging of uncertainty? Imagine this clearly. You step out your door this morning. Two men stand at the crossroads. One sees empty streets, slow days, and closed doors. The other looks at the same streets and says, "There's a man down the road who needs help fixing his fence. There's a merchant struggling to find someone dependable. There's a neighbor who doesn't yet realize he needs the very service I provide." Which man prospers? Which man rises? Which one builds something from nothing? You already know the answer. But here's the pitfall. Many wait for opportunity to arrive, polished, certain, and guaranteed. But life does not work that way. Opportunity is not something you sit and wait for. It's something you go out and claim. How does one begin to claim it? You start by shifting the question. Instead of asking, "Why isn't there more for me?" you ask, "Where can I be useful? Where can I serve? Where can I solve a problem?" For wherever a problem exists, so too does opportunity, waiting like gold beneath the soil for the man with the courage to dig. Think of the prospector. Thousands passed over hills believing them barren, yet the one who brought a pickaxe, who dug beyond the surface, struck a vein of wealth. Did the gold move to greet him? No, he moved toward it. Ask yourself this: what problems exist around you right now? Who needs what you can offer? What skills, services, or solutions are missing in your circle, your town, your trade? Because the truth is, there's no shortage of opportunity, only a shortage of eyes trained to see it. Say it now. Say it with conviction. I am surrounded by opportunities waiting to be claimed. Let it shape how you walk, how you speak, how you approach every interaction. Suddenly, you no longer wait for doors to open. You build the door. You carve the key. You step through. The man who believes opportunity is scarce will always be poor in wealth, in spirit, in progress. But the man who understands that life itself is rich with possibility, that man will never go hungry. Not for success, not for meaning, not for greatness. I deserve the life I dream of because I build it daily. As the morning air fills your lungs and a new day begins, there is one declaration that must stand tall in your mind before anything else can. I deserve the life I dream of because I build it daily. You see, the life you envision, whether it's wealth, peace, freedom, or mastery, is not something handed down by fortune, nor is it gifted by chance. No, it is something earned, something forged, something constructed, one day, one task, one decision at a time. Ask yourself, has there ever been a craftsman who built a cathedral in a day? Has a farmer ever planted seeds in the morning and reaped the harvest by sunset? Of course not. Greatness does not unfold in sudden bursts. It rises brick by brick under the hands of those who persist. But here's where most stumble. They gaze longingly at the life they desire, but forget that it is not the desire that grants it. It is the doing. They spend more time wishing than working, more time dreaming than doing. And then they say, maybe this life isn't meant for me. Imagine this clearly. Picture two men standing side by side. Both desire a strong, sturdy home. One draws plans, sharpens his tools, and begins laying the foundation. Rain comes. The winds blow. But he keeps building. The other stands with folded arms, staring at the empty ground, hoping, waiting, wishing. Tell me, whose house stands a year from now? Whose dream becomes real? You already know the answer. The truth is simple. The life you dream of belongs to the person you become through daily construction, through the discipline of action, through the refusal to let a day slip by without progress. But ask yourself, what does it mean to build it daily? It means that every choice either moves you closer to or further from the life you desire. Each hour spent learning a skill, tending to your craft, sharpening your body, sharpening your mind. These are the bricks. Each promise you keep to yourself, each goal you refuse to abandon, these are the beams. And here's the truth most never dare speak. You only truly believe you deserve the life you dream of when you know deep in your bones that you've built it with your own hands. No shortcuts, no excuses, no skipping steps. Imagine waking up tomorrow. You look in the mirror and ask yourself, have I earned the right to claim the life I desire? Did yesterday reflect the man I aim to become? And if the answer is yes, you stand taller. Your confidence doesn't come from empty affirmations. It comes from evidence. Evidence you stacked day by day with effort, discipline, and integrity. Ask yourself, how would your life transform if every sunrise came with this unshakable vow? Today, I lay another brick, not waiting for motivation, not asking for permission, simply doing. Think of the stonemason. He does not hammer once and walk away discouraged. No, he chips, he grinds, he polishes, and at first it may look like nothing but raw stone. But over time, the shape emerges, strong, undeniable, beautiful. So too does your life. Success does not rush. Mastery does not sprint. But it always rewards the one who shows up daily, who honors the process more than the prize. Say it now. Say it like you mean it. I deserve the life I dream of because I build it daily. Let this truth become your compass. Let it guide your hands, your mind, your spirit, because once you accept that your dream life is something you build, not something you wish for, you become unstoppable. The blueprint is already written. It's written in your vision. Now the bricks must be laid. Daily, without fail, until one day you stand inside the life you once only imagined. I welcome discipline, for it shapes my destiny. As the morning air stirs and the day calls you to rise, there is one truth you must plant firmly in the soil of your mind. I welcome discipline, for it shapes my destiny. Look closely at any man who has achieved greatness in business, in craftsmanship, in leadership, in life, and you will not find luck as his companion. You will not find comfort or convenience as his guide. No, you will find discipline standing at his right hand, steady, unyielding, relentless. But notice, most run from discipline. They treat it as a burden, a punishment, a chain that robs them of freedom. What they fail to see is the greatest paradox of life. Discipline is not the enemy of freedom. Discipline is freedom. Ask yourself, has a builder ever raised a house without following a plan? Has a sailor ever crossed an ocean without adhering to the map, the stars, the laws of navigation? Then why should life be any different? Discipline is the architect of destiny. It is the invisible hand that turns vague wishes into concrete reality. Without it, dreams crumble. With it, mountains move. Imagine this. Two men wake at dawn. One listens to comfort's whisper, rest a bit longer, skip the hard work. It can wait. The other rises, sharpens his mind, tends to his duties, faces the day with clarity and command. A month passes. A year. Look at their lives. One stands in the same place, perhaps even further behind. The other, taller, sharper, wealthier in spirit, in fortune, in strength. Ask yourself, which man are you becoming? Discipline is the chisel in the hand of the sculptor. Without it, the stone remains rough, undefined, a wasted block of potential. With it, the masterpiece emerges. So too with you. But let's be honest, discipline does not arrive dressed in comfort. It shows up as the decision to rise when it's easier to rest, to study when others are idle, to finish what you start when quitting would be simpler. It asks you daily, will you choose what is easy or will you choose what is necessary? And with every choice, your destiny either sharpens or dulls. Think of the farmer once more. He cannot plant when he feels like it. He cannot harvest when it suits his mood. The seasons do not wait for his comfort. If he ignores the discipline of planting on time, tending on time, harvesting on time, he reaps nothing. Nature rewards those who obey her disciplines. Life does too. Imagine, truly imagine, what your life could become if discipline were no longer something you resisted, but something you welcomed. What happens when you no longer battle with the alarm clock, but greet it? When you no longer dread the hard task, but lean into it? When you no longer seek the path of least resistance, but crave the path that builds you? Suddenly, distractions lose their power. Procrastination becomes a stranger. Your mind sharpens. Your body strengthens. Your reputation grows. And with it, your destiny shifts. Ask yourself, if today you reject discipline, where will you be 5 years from now? But if today you embrace it, what towering heights could you reach? Say it now. Say it with steel in your voice. I welcome discipline, for it shapes my destiny. Let this be your armor. Let it be the fire in your chest when comfort tries to seduce you. Let it be the hammer that forges you into the man or woman you were always meant to become. Because here is the law. Talent may open doors, luck may strike once. But discipline keeps the doors open, builds the house behind them, and fills it with everything you ever dreamed. Destiny belongs to the disciplined. Welcome it, live it. Today I will take action, no matter how small. As the day breaks and the world stirs awake, there's a single vow that holds more power than 1,000 wishes, more weight than endless plans. Today I will take action, no matter how small. Look carefully at the men who achieve, who build legacies, who shape the world around them. And you will not find men who wait. You will not find men who sit idly, endlessly thinking about what might be someday if the conditions were just right. No, you will find men of action, men who, regardless of how they feel, regardless of how uncertain the outcome may be, choose to move forward. Ask yourself, when has a bridge ever been built by staring at blueprints alone? When has a harvest ever arrived because a man sat in his field thinking about planting seeds but never touched the soil? You already know the answer, but here's where most falter. They convince themselves that unless the action is grand, unless the leap is enormous, it's not worth taking. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect conditions. Yet life does not wait for perfect. Life rewards movement. Imagine this. A man stands at the base of a mountain. He stares upward. The peak looks impossibly far. Doubt creeps in. It's too high. It'll take too long. Maybe I'll start tomorrow. But beside him stands another man. He adjusts his pack, tightens his boots, and takes the first step. Then another, and small steps. Perhaps clumsy at first, but soon the ground beneath changes. The horizon shifts. What was once a distant summit draws nearer. Ask yourself, which man wins? The one who waits for the courage to leap, or the one who simply moves forward, step by step? This is the secret most never learn. Momentum is the builder of mountains. The smallest action, repeated, compounds. It gathers weight, it gathers force. And eventually what was once impossible bends beneath the steady hand of persistence. So why wait for perfect? Why wait for certainty? The blacksmith does not wait until he feels like forging the blade. He strikes the iron while it is hot, whether his mood agrees or not. The carpenter does not wait until the entire house is built in his mind. He lays the first plank. The farmer does not wait for the entire harvest to appear in one day. He plants the first seed, and so must you. What is the smallest action you can take today that serves your goal? A conversation, a page written, a skill practiced, a commitment honored. One choice that says, I am moving forward. Ask yourself, how many days have been lost not because of failure, but because of waiting? How many times has greatness slipped through the fingers of men who convinced themselves they needed more time, more confidence, more clarity? Now imagine your life a year from now. Not because of some massive, sudden breakthrough, but because every day, including this day, you chose action over waiting. What would your business look like? Your health, your finances, your relationships? How far could you climb? One step at a time. Say it now, say it with fire. Today I will take action, no matter how small. Let this become the anthem of your mornings. Let it drown out doubt. Let it silence hesitation, because action, no matter how humble, no matter how simple, separates the dreamers from the doers, the watchers from the winners. The world does not reward the man who waits. It rewards the one who moves. Step forward, take the action, because with that step, you begin the transformation. Not tomorrow, not someday. Today. Remember, How you start your day shapes how you live your life. These powerful truths aren't just words, they are tools. Tools to build discipline, focus, and unstoppable momentum. Speak them, believe them, live them every single morning. Because when your mind aligns with your purpose, nothing can stand in your way. Your future isn't waiting, it's being built, starting right now, by you.
Thank you for watching Napoleon Hill Daily Millionaire Mindset. If this sparks something in you, don't let it fade. Subscribe now and turn these timeless ideas into your daily advantage. Drop a comment below. Let us know your biggest takeaway. And remember, you don't get what you wish for, you get what you believe and work for. Think big, grow daily, live rich. See you in the next video.